Take a bow, son. I mean that, take a bow.
So a year on from us sacking Jose Mourinho, where he left us in a situation where some of us, not me, but we're genuinely scared that we were going to get relegated. He left us in a situation where we had no confidence. The players just looked absolute shells of themselves. And we've just won our 11th game in a row. Now, I felt Palace did really well. They're really hard to break down. Similar to the West Brom game, we really struggled in the first half, and I felt Palace were offering more going forward than we were. Again, it's one of those games where I really thought Fabregas should have started. I can understand why Conte chooses Matic, because he has been really good so far since we switched to the 3-4-3, but I personally would have started Fabregas because he's been in excellent form recently, and we could probably anticipate that Palace were going to sit back. I thought the first half wasn't that great, really. Don't really remember much happening. And then, out of nowhere, Diego Costa, who's had absolutely no service all game, Azpilicueta pushes out of defence, chips in a lovely cross, and Costa finishes it. Of course he does. I think that's his 13th goal of the season now. He's just been absolutely fantastic. He's playing the best football of his career. Could be happy with Costa. But what a cross by Azpilicueta. Some people seem to think that he's not good going forward. I've never agreed with this. When he used to play right back for us, admittedly it wasn't as long as he played left back, I felt he was fine going forward. I felt like he put in a good quality crosses. I thought he's decent on the ball. Obviously when he switched to left back under Mourinho, he's not left footed, so you can't expect him to be swinging in crosses with his left foot. The only time he'd ever get to do that is when he cut inside and put him in on his right. So there seems to be this misconception that he's poor going forward. I think it's nonsense. In the second half, we seemed to sit back a lot. Palace kept on pushing on and trying to break us down and add in pressure, but there was always that opportunity to counter-attack, which I was hoping we'd take advantage of. We were fantastic defensively. David Luiz, Cahill and Azpilicueta were magnificent, as they have been for the last couple of months. Absolutely solid. Luiz, noticed one thing is he kicks the ball away a lot more now if there's pressure. He wouldn't try anything stupid like a Cruyff turn or something and lose the ball. So I think it's definitely something Conte's coaching out of him, but it's just his decision making. It's not like he's completely taken the flow away from this game. I remember against the City game, he did a no-look pass on the edge of the box. So he's still David Luiz, but he's just David Luiz with much more functional brain. Around the 60th minute, Fabregas came on. He was a game changer. I think 12 seconds in, maybe even less, he actually created a chance. He actually smashed it at Alonso, and Alonso, who I'll cover in a second, he just hit him in the leg, really. There was too much power. However, I think he was actually trying to ping it to Hazard, so maybe Alonso actually just got in the way. But Fabregas was absolutely class. I think he was playing as like a right forward. I'd love to see if that works, because I really want Fabregas in this team. I think he's brilliant. We all love him. He plays for the shirt. He's captain material, and I don't want him to leave, so he needs to get minutes to stay. And if we can fit him in any way we can and make use of his fantastic vision and passing, then we're going to be a stronger team because of it. And we had a few chances as the game ticked on. Alonso had a few quality strikes. Kante had a good strike as well. Fabregas had one on his weaker foot. We did offer a decent amount going forward. We haven't been as magnificent as we have been when we were just beating Man United, the likes of 4-0, Leicester 3-0, Everton 6-0, things like that. But we're drawing out wins, we're still creating chances. I just feel we're a few players away from being an absolute elite team, and we definitely need to strengthen in January to ensure we win the title. I want to talk a little bit about Marcos Alonso. So in the first half, all I could see was a 6'2", sluggish as hell left wing back who can't really defend, and he wasn't really offering much going forward. There was a chance where he showed some great skill where he flicked it past the defender, and then I think it was 2-on-1 with Willian, and he messed up the final ball. If he had pace or he had dribbling ability to a decent level, then he could have done a lot more of that, but he just doesn't look like a top level player, at least in the first half. In the second half, he showed more of his technique. I think he's got a fantastic left foot. I sort of mentioned he reminds me a little bit of David Beckham. Some people will rightly say, how dare you compare him to David Beckham, and I understand, but there's just a little thing in him that I see, in that he's a bit of a specialist. He's got fantastic technique. He's not got a lot of pace. He's not particularly good in the ball. He's just not a particularly naturally talented footballer. But one thing he can offer is I think he's really good at set pieces, really good at free kicks, which he showed. He hit the crossbar from about 25 yards out. So I definitely think he should be one of our main free kick takers moving forward. He's got a fantastic cross on him. He seems to put the ball in dangerous areas consistently, but the players aren't there. So who do you blame? The players for not making the runs, or do you blame Alonso for not putting the ball in where the players are? I think it's a bit of both. I think the players need to sort of know where he's going to cross the ball in, because if they go there, then they're going to get tap-ins. But also Alonso needs to pick his head up and actually ping it to Costa or Hazard or whatever, rather than put it to where they probably should be but aren't. He really has got a fantastic left foot though. He had a volley which he struck very well, and he had another chance which he stung the goalkeeper's hands. So he definitely has his strengths. Whether or not he's going to pick up and sort out his position in or whatever, I don't know. Definitely feel like we do need a left wing back. Just someone with pace, really. Someone who can pick up the ball and run with it, ping it across. Don't have to be amazingly defensively, but just have to have some sort of pace and power behind them. It's just the one thing Alonso lacks, and he just looks sluggish all the time. But other than that, I thought he played quite well. So yeah, 11 wins in a row, top of the league, going into the new year, looking like the favourites to win the title. So it's all looking pretty good.